I am now going to explain why threatening genocide as a negotiation tactic is one of the most dangerous things a world leader can possibly do. I shouldn't have to explain this. This should be one of the most obvious things to essentially every single person on the planet. However, apparently, it isn't. And because the stakes of this matter are so impossibly high, I am not going to just leave it to chance that everyone is going to figure this shit out. So buckle up, listen up, and here we fucking go. First of all, why do you not threaten genocide? Well, genocide is very bad. It's about the worst crime that humanity has ever committed, and to even slightly associate yourself with that crime is a very bad idea. It likely means you are one of the biggest assholes that has ever existed, and usually people want to steer clear of that. And usually that explanation is enough for most people, but clearly right now it isn't. Clearly it's not enough to just understand that whoever is threatening genocide is a major fucking asshole, because apparently a lot of people are really excited when world leaders are being assholes. They think being an absolute asshole means that you're big and tough and can do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't, but they think it. So let's continue on. Let's talk about the actual consequences beyond just being considered a shitty person. When you threaten genocide, you are then left with two possible options. Either you continue on and make good on your threat to commit that genocide, or at the very least demonstrate that you are ready, willing, and able to do so if they don't meet your demands. Or you are bluffing. You never have the intention to follow through on any kind of genocide and never set yourself up to be able to carry one out. Let's start with the option where you are ready, willing, and able to carry out a genocide. Why is that a bad idea? Well, obviously, you are slaughtering innocent people for no fucking reason. But again, we're focusing on the strategic decisions behind ever choosing to do that. Well, the first major pitfall with that plan is that it wins you no allies and it creates an enemy out of every single human being on the planet. Why is it a bad idea to carry out a genocide or look like you are going to carry out a genocide? Well, it's the same thinking around why it's a bad idea to walk into a public space and kill someone. You might initially think that after you kill someone in a public space that everyone is just going to bow to your whims and listen to whatever you have to tell them. And you know what? Even for a short period of time, they might listen to you. But as soon as you prove to everyone that you are willing to use needless violence to get whatever the fuck you want, every single person who witnessed it is now plotting your downfall. Even if they are willing to listen to your demands in the short term, they are now looking for any and every opportunity to undermine you and take you out. And yes, the same dynamic exists even if you are just threatening to kill someone, because that is what holding a hostage is. So, in the same way that if you walked into some store or something and took a hostage, all the people who aren't hostages will also start working against you. If you try and take a hostage on the world stage, all the other countries start working against you. I mean, all we have to do is look at Israel as an example. As soon as the world understood that they are committing genocide and that they are planning on continuing their genocide, they were alienated on the world stage. The only support they actually have internationally right now is the United States. Now, Israel is smaller and easier to isolate than the United States. However, the same dynamic is going to play out on a larger scale the more we walk around and act like we can just bully the entire world. And we've been seeing this happen for months now. All of our major international partners have been striking trade deals with everyone other than the United States. They've been forming new military treaties and alliances and shifting power away from US alliances. And they have been actively readying their militaries to be able to repel threats from the United States. And as soon as those powers feel like they are ready to hold their own against the United States, they are going to start taking bigger and bolder stances than we have seen in quite some time. And threats like Trump made today accelerate all of those conversations. Every treaty or bill being negotiated across the world that was sitting on the line as to whether or not they should devote resources into making sure that they are US proof got accelerated towards making sure that they are US proof. Because here's where we need to go back to the possibility that Trump was literally just bluffing. Here's the thing: when the US, with the largest nuclear arsenal in the world, tries to bluff, nobody in their right mind is allowed to take it as a bluff. Once again, if someone walks up to you and holds a gun to your head, do you sit there and go, ah, it's just a bluff, I'm going to continue on with my day? No, you treat the threat like it's real. And up until now, the only thing that has been keeping the rest of the world calm with the fact that we have a gun that we can use on them at any point in time is that we haven't gone waving it around. Because let's say you're not the one getting the gun pointed at your head. Instead, you have a very unstable friend of yours who is now going around and pointing guns at everyone else's head. You don't know why. He doesn't seem to be getting anything out of it, and it is really freaking everyone out. Is your first thought that you want to be better friends with that guy? Or is maybe your first thought that you need to get the gun away from him? That is what the entire world is now thinking, that they need to get the gun away from the madman. So here's the thing: it is entirely within your rights as an American to stand by the madman for the rest of his or your life. But understand, if you choose to do so, you are fighting the entire world. It is you, your Fuhrer, and a few thousand MAGA diehards versus literally everyone else on Earth, and you will lose that. But I should be clear, the you in this hypothetical is not the Republicans. It's not MAGA. The you in this situation is any government official who continues to act like this guy should be listened to. Any government official, any government employee who is going to continue to behave like he should still be president, like anything he says should carry authority. Because if you are continuing to do that, you are signing the death warrants of every single fucking one of us. And the rest of us aren't going down with you. The rest of us would rather wrestle the gun away from the madman, because the rest of us understand it is only a matter of time before the madman uses the gun on us.